Have you ever been in a conversation with someone to encourage that person or to give them hope, and come to find out the words that you're saying, as you're saying them, it's almost as if God is telling you, that's the word I want for you? This past Friday, I had two conversations. The first one was with a guy that's in the military. He's in the Navy, and his family had asked that I would come and do a blessing over him, pray for him, give him a word of encouragement, because he's going to be on deployment in the Middle East for about 8 months. And so it was an honor, it was a privilege. I always feel encouraged when families ask me to do those types of things. But as I was encouraging him, and the whole family and all of their friends were there, I told him these three phrases. I said, my prayer for you, Devon, is that over the next 8 months, that you would know that God is for you, that God is with you, and that God cares for you. I was saying those words, and I felt as if God was telling me, that's what I want you to know, Freddie, that I am with you, that I am for you, and that I care about you. The second conversation was with my sister, and it also happened on Friday. I haven't shared this with a lot of people, but I feel like now's the time to start sharing these types of things that have been going on over the last few weeks in my family. About a month ago, my sister was diagnosed with cancer. She's my oldest sister. I have two older sisters. She's the oldest one, and she was diagnosed with cancer. They thought that the cancer was in her uterus, and that it hadn't spread. And so she had surgery, and they realized that the cancer had gone through the walls of her uterus, and it had spread. And so they essentially said, you're going to have to go through chemo. And so she's already gone through 2 sessions as of Thursday. And she called me on Friday, and she was emotional. She was emotional, and she was just telling me, Freddie, I'm scared now, because when I wake up in the mornings, I'm pulling out chunks of hair. I mean, I just have all this hair that's falling out, and it feels as though, the reality is kicking in, that I have cancer and that all of my hair is gonna fall out. And so we were talking, and I was encouraging her. And it was beautiful, because she told me, even though I have cancer and I'm fearful and I have a lot of questions, I still can't help but to think that God is with me. And so as I was talking to her and encouraging her, I told her the same phrases. I said, Erika, you have to know that God is for you, that God is with you, and that he cares for you. And even in this terrible of situations, he's not going to leave you, and he's not going to forsake you. And those are the promises that he gives all of us in his word. I'm reminded of a story in Exodus chapter 33. Moses is still leading the Israelites to the promised land, and they're still on that journey, right? They're in the desert. He has led them out of Egypt, and now they are in the desert, and they're on their way to the promised land. And in Exodus chapter 33, verse 11, it says that Moses and God had a special bond, a special relationship, where God would speak to Moses face to face. So Exodus 33 verse 11 says, and so the Lord used to speak to Moses face to face, just as a man speaks to his friend. When Moses returned to the camp, his attendant Joshua the son of Nun, a young man, would not depart from the tent. And I'm skipping down to verse 14. It says, "And the Lord said to Moses, My presence shall go with you, and I will give you rest by bringing you and the people into the promised land." That's been resonating with me because essentially what God is telling Moses, and he's telling us, is that my presence will go with you. Those three phrases that I shared on Friday, not knowing that God was encouraging me: I am with you, I am for you, and I care for you. And then here in Exodus 14, my presence goes with you, and I will give you rest. Friends, what an encouragement to know that our God, who is so big, so grand, so he created the entire universe. What an encouraging word to know that he is so big, but yet he becomes so small to come inside of us, to live inside of us, to encourage us, to speak to us. This is the encouragement for me. I need to hear that God's presence is with me, that God's presence is with my family. 2 weeks ago, we heard some more bad news. My sister has been dealing with the news of her cancer, but the doctors just told my mom that they saw some spots in her uterus, almost the exact same thing as my sister. And so they're running some tests. They know that she's lost a lot of weight. She's lost about 20 to 30 pounds. They're not sure why. She's not sure why, obviously. But they saw some spots in her uterus, and they're running tests. They haven't said it's cancer just yet, but they're not ruling it out, and so they still have to run some more tests. They did a biopsy on her uterus this past week, and so hopefully by next week we'll know a little bit more. But in the meantime, I'm at a place where I'm not angry or frustrated or sad. I mean, there is that. It comes in waves. There's some days where I feel discouraged. I feel sad for my mom, for my sister. But then I read things like this, verses like this, that just let me know, okay, God, even in the midst of a storm, of a valley, your word promises that you're with us. And so that's what I'm going to take today. I'm not going to worry about the what ifs of tomorrow. I'm not going to worry and fear that we could be entering into a situation where both my sister and mom are dealing with cancer. All I'm going to take is the nugget from today. And that nugget is that you are with me and that you promise to give me rest. Friends, I don't know if you're going through something and you needed to hear that. I hope that you're encouraged by it and that you know that God is for you, that God is with you, and that God cares for you. God bless you guys.